Hi everybody, this is Simon of TheTriathlonCoach.com, and I can tell you I am absolutely buzzing. Fiona and I have been at the Olympics for the last 6 days and it's been absolutely fantastic. But I've never taken my eye off the ball, and whilst I was watching the action I was plotting and writing down a few things, and I've learned plenty of lessons, and here are my top 5, at least top 5 for the moment. I'm going to go through them now. Just because these are Olympians, it doesn't mean you can't apply these lessons to your own training and lifestyle. So here we go. The 5 things, in no particular order really, of importance, but number 1, think long term. Alistair Brownlee first came into contact with British Triathlon at the age of 14. He's 24 now. It's taken him 10 years of hard training to get to the point where he won the gold medal, and he was already training before that, so it's probably taken him more like 14 to 15 years. So Kath Granger won 3 silvers, that's 3 Olympic cycles of 12 years plus another 4 years to get the gold, 16 years, and you can bet she was training before she begun that first one that ended in a silver all those years ago. So when you start thinking about your training next year, don't be too intent on shaving massive amounts of time off your 400 swim or off your 10k. Just think about a logical progression, something that's manageable, and think about achieving over several years. Okay? Don't have to achieve it all next month or next year. Number 2, a support team. If you've seen any of the interviews after any of the events, just about all of the medalists that have been interviewed have talked about the coach, the medical team and everybody else, the family, that's helped them to get to the position where they could win a medal. Now, most of these guys have got full-time support teams. You probably aren't going to have that luxury, but that doesn't mean you can't build a support team around you. And when Clive Woodward was in charge of the England rugby team, he had a phrase about everybody's noses pointing in the same direction. So you want everybody's noses to be pointing in that direction, which is the direction you're going. If anybody has their nose pointing that way, they're basically going the opposite way to you. You probably want to marginalise those people because they're just going to be a drain on your resources. So you need to think about getting your family on side. Consult with them before you enter events. Take them along, include them in the journey. The same for friends and work colleagues. All of these people are probably going to have to pick up the slack while you're busy out training, and you also need to think about rewarding them when you finish your event. Like all loans, and this is a goodwill loan, loans have to be repaid. Medical. Okay, you're not going to have full-time medical support on call 24/7, but that doesn't mean you don't know and can't contact quickly the right physio, the right dentist, the right doctor if you need medical services. And likewise for the people who supply you with your equipment. Make sure you have your equipment, make sure it works, and make sure you've got good contacts with people who can fix it for you quickly. Alright, attention to detail. There have been several instances and things that I've picked up through the Olympics, but British cycling have been the champions of marginal gains in small areas, thinking that perhaps it's not possible to make a big gain in one area, but if they can put lots of 0.1% together, that will give them a big enough lead to win a medal, or to change a bronze into a silver or a silver into a gold. Why can't you do the same? Most age groupers have got lots more gains to be made than the elites. All you've got to do is sit down and make a list of the things you can think you can do better at. Some examples: British cycling. In the warm-ups they got the riders warm, but then they found in the 10 minutes while they were waiting for the races on the track cycling that the riders were cooling down, so they created hot pants for them to wear to keep the quads and the glutes warm. A small difference maybe, but hey, they won more medals than anybody and that they've ever won before. The Usa Bmx Team, they took 3D photos of the BMX track, and then they created that exact same track back in America for their riders to prepare on. When they changed the BMX track, once they found out, they then paid the manufacturers of that track for the plants. Okay, attention to detail. You'll see here number 4. I've written sacrifices and I've crossed it out, because these athletes, they do make sacrifices, but really they're choices. They're choices they make because they're prepared to do so in the short term for what might happen in the long term, which is a gold medal. I'm thinking of the athletes you hear talk about the early morning training sessions, the early nights, the missing parties, the spending time away from their family. Jack told me a great story the other day that on the chain gang last year, It was a horrible night, it was pouring down with rain, and only 7 athletes turned up out of the normal 40 or 50. 3 of those won Olympic medals: Alistair Brownlee, Johnny Brownlee and Lizzie Armistead. So 3 out of 7. Okay? Attention to detail, the small things make a difference. And finally, having fun. Andy Murray won a big tournament, a massive tournament, almost like a major. For the first time ever, he beat 2 of the big 3 in the semi-final and final. He also said it was the most fun he'd ever had. Perhaps him having fun was linked to him being relaxed and linked to him playing better. So make sure that, particularly as it's your hobby, you're having fun too. Okay, so that's it. Those are my top 5. They're the things I've learnt. What I'd like you to do is send me responses telling me some of the things that you've learnt from the athletes you've seen performing brilliantly at the 2012 Olympics in London. So until next time, thanks for watching and have a great weekend. Bye for now.